Tēnā tātou tātoa. Now mai haere mai koutukai, tēnei hui o te puari au hapori o Kāwhia. It is 4:03 and greetings and welcome you all to the Kāwhia Community Board meeting. If I could have an opening prayer please from Cassidy.
Tēnā koutou katoa, mihi ana kia koutou, e te puari o tira koutou kua tai mai te ahiahi nei. Tēnā koutou katoa, kei noi tātou. He unuhanga ānuku, he unuhanga ārangi. He māreretanga, he mā unutanga ko te pou kātū, he pou waha te pou, he pou wehe te pou. Ko wehe atu te pō ki tuo pai kia heua mai ko te ao mārama. Kia mārama I runga, kia mārama I raro, kia mārama I waho, kia mārama I roto. Kia ti, kia ho, kia ti aho mai I roto. Ti toko te ao mārama, whano, whanake tū mai te toki, haumie, huie, tai ki, kia ora tātou. And just a brief translation as well, acknowledging the spaces above, below us, and asking for good aspects of light to be bestowed above, below, within, and outside, further afield as well for this hui and for good provision moving forward. Kia ora koutou.
Kia ora, Anthony. Just before I commence into the meeting, how's the volume levels down there in the public here? Can you hear what we're saying? Yeah. I'd just like to welcome the members of the public that are here, so thank you. Moving on. Apologies. I have apologies from board member Walsh, Dave Walsh.
I'll move.
You're moved.
Seconded.
Okay. Moving on to the public forum. We do have one public forum item that's not on your agenda. It's a late one from Monday. Steve Morris wants to have some issues he's got with the hall. So you've got your 5 minutes, Steve. Welcome up. Now you can stand here if you like. Okay. But you'll get, talk to the issue, which is the hall, and yeah, we'll give you a signal with, yeah. If you're getting recorded over there, so if you do want to sit here so that the public can hear you as well, if you want to stand there, you can get everyone. Yeah.
Right. We had a movie on the weekend, like that, and before the letter to the CEO as a result of the movie, because we were very shocked when we walked into the hall Saturday afternoon to inspect it, to see the, familiarise ourselves with the hall and the condition, the state, the floor, and the smell, the stench. And anyway, so that's what led us to write a letter with a recommendation that there be some hot running water with the tub so that whoever does the cleaning, it was quite obvious that hadn't been, looked at for some time, has a proper facility to, to wash mops, rinse buckets, and all that. And I don't think that sort of thing should be done outside. So we had to rinse buckets outside and fill buckets from hot water tap in the kitchen, which to me is a health and safety issue. Also, we find it as a care of duty issue, because who's monitoring this? Who's ensuring that the welfare of the hall is taken care of? So we made those recommendations in our letter to the CEO. But one further issue that's come up for me is that, from years gone by, the hall used to be, we could pick up a key from Alan and Sandra, come down, unlock, come and use it, pay the money and so forth. My thought is why now is it sort of gone, this, care of duty gone away from Kāwhia over to Kāwhia, and shouldn't it sort of be someone within the community who, keeps an eye on these things, nice and local, and can manage it, and it's, a go-to person here when you want to use the hall, because one of the things we found is that we had to keep those doors closed. We had to get some water from the hall, and when we opened them up, it was like walking into a fridge. Couldn't find where he could the heaters on or anything. We had no go-to person at the time. So this is what I was saying. The advantage would be a go-to person here in Kāwhia, that is the custodian of the hall, so to speak, or whatever, but, you know, that might be a political issue, you know, bringing the management will fall back to Kāwhia, and I feel strongly that that's something that carries relevance for me. Being a long-term resident here in Kāwhia. And so that's really the issue at hand. But thankfully, we have received a response from the CEO that the recommendations in the letter are going to be looked at, but I would like to submit that further issue that I have is about the management of the hall and custodial care of the hall being somewhat local, rather than rather than someone whom you can't make contact with when you need to know something. That is just that sort of thing. Now, just before I go, I'd like to make also make it known that there has been a long-standing concerning issue for me, and that's about the boy racing issues.
Could I just back you up there, please, Steve? You need to talk to the issue that you've consulted. Yeah. So keep it to the hall, okay?
So
just discuss the hall. That's the one you wanted to have a public forum.
okay.
Well, please not. Yeah. Thank you.
So are we able to talk about the second?
No.
Partial?
No. Sorry, that's standing orders. If you notify us that you want to talk on an issue, then that's the issue you talk on. Yeah.
Can there not be no more public discussion about this other issue?
No, not unless you want to make it the next public forum. You have to notify for 2 days in advance of a meeting. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, hang on. Yeah, you get the board members need to get to ask you questions now if you want. Do board members have any questions? Richard, do you have any questions of Steve?
I'm good, thank
We're
you.
good. Hang on, no. Thank you, Steve. Late items. There are no late items. Declarations of interest. No declarations of interest. Decision reports. We're going to have a really quick meeting. Oh, sorry. Confirmation of the minutes of the last meeting. I was not here, so I can have a mover. Seconder. Move board member Harbour and seconded board member Few. Yeah, right. Decision only. Any matters arising from the minutes?
I have one. Sorry. Have we got the traffic safety manager coming today?
I picked that up. I don't think we have.
I can speak to
Yeah.
that one, Mr. Chair. So I had the same query actually after checking the minutes before the meeting. I spoke to him and the program was that he wasn't able to make this meeting. His plan at this stage is to come to the September meeting, at which stage he will know the outcomes of our funding from NZTA regarding the footpaths. So he wanted to take the opportunity to talk on 2 topics, which would be road safety issues around the township, and also to debrief you, hopefully with the good news on the funding for the footpaths. If we don't get the funding, I'm afraid there will be another discussion, but we'll have to wait until next 30th of August we get that decision on NZTA. So we've got a bit to look forward to in September.
Very good.
Any other matters arising?
I had one, Mr. Chairman. It was just in relation to the signage for the for out Nudinui and the turn off to Kāwhia there. That was presented to the council at the last council meeting and it went through fine. There seemed to be generally a lot of support for it. I think the only comment was that particularly with the Pahutakawa one, the word Kāwhia gets a little bit lost in the flower. So perhaps a border of some sort around the word might enhance that one. But other than that, no, generally everyone seems pretty happy with them. So thank you to Hinga for chasing that up for us. Yeah.
Understand they're getting manufactured as we speak.
Yes.
Great. Right.
And just one other, have we got a timeline for that? When are they going up?
I would expect it in the next 3 weeks, weather permitting and everything.
Very good.
And through you, Mr. Chair, I spoke with the printers today and they'll be ready for pickup next week.
Oh, great.
Excellent.
Have they taken, sorry, question, have they taken on board the suggestion about the wording?
Final proof's been approved.
Right.
It's a shame.
Through you, Mr. Chair, as mentioned at the last meeting, Councillor Jeffries, these are not permanent, like they don't have to be permanent fixtures. We can change them in the future. So this is just for something for at the moment.
Is the print board, is the one solid board, is it? So can you stick another print over it, can you?
You can, Mr. Chair, technically you can reprint on ATM board,
Okay,
but they generally
Okay.
like to use a clean skin.
gotcha.
each time.
Clean skin every time, I
Yeah.
understand, yeah.
But you can just cut straight over the top of it. You know,
Yeah, sweet thing. Almost something like a skin, that would good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Any other further business? Any other matters arising? Thank you. Information only reports, nothing. Public excluded, nothing. Board projects. Are you waiting on Frank to be?
Yeah, through Mr. Chair, we've sent the link to Frank Thorne to give us an update on the storyboards.
We can come back.
No,
Oh,
he'll be
he's
there.
He's there. Oh, there he is.
Yes.
in his office.
Kia ora.
Kia ora,
Can you
Frank.
hear me? Kia ora, everybody.
Kia ora.
Sorry, just doing school pickups. Kia ora, everybody. Yeah, in regards to the signage, we've progressed on the boards themselves. The stories are ready. We've made requests to the certain libraries and museums. 4 have come back. 3 have approved the usage of the images without having to pay for them. They're quite happy with what we're doing, as long as we reference them. Te Awamatu Museum requires an invoice, so we're just waiting on that invoice. And Kāwhia Museum is having trouble. We're having trouble locating 2 of the images, so that's where we're at the moment. Other than that, once we get the images, we'll just craft up what the design looks like and then get back to you guys as soon as possible, so everybody can see how it's shaping up, and then send it to the right people to get it ready for presentation. That's about as
Thank you,
quick
Frank.
as it can be.
That's good. Thank you very much for that, Frank,
No worries.
and for all your hard work. We're looking forward to it.
Before you go, Frank, through you, Mr.
Yes.
Chair, we have any questions from the floor?
No, sorry.
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, all good.
All good.
Okay. Oh, I have a part-time. Kia ora, Frank. Thank you for making time to come along and present, update, read the storyboards. At our
No worries.
last meeting, because there was a question that was asked, and the question was, will these narratives include any European kōrero? I'd like to bring it to this meeting now because you're on here
Right.
in the meeting. So if there was any kōrero following that partai, which came from the floor.
Okay. All right. The narratives are specifically from a Ngāti Kairo tangata whenua perspective. Some of them may touch on parts of the European experience in Kāwhia, but the basis of them is to share a story that hasn't been shared. There's been plenty of detail for the European experiences and narratives in the Kāwhia history books by P. Cummings and the I think the South of Kāwhia books, but also in the Poe and the bollards that were set up in the park. There's more detail there, and we are looking at working with the Kāwhia Museum, and that's something that could perhaps be presented back to the community board about exploring the Kāwhia street names themselves, which go into quite a bit of detail about that. So this specific project, no, is not focused on the European history and narratives, but there are different avenues to find that, and there's some potential work that could be done in that area.
Thank you for the clarification there, Frank.
Yeah, just one question. Kia ora, Frank, it's Kit here. Hey, just one thing in relation to the bollards and the pows and so on. If the museum should have a full history of all of that, and if they can't locate it, give me a bell, because I've got a copy of all of that on my computer as well. So if there's any information you need, just give us a yell. Okay.
All good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kit. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Frank. Stuart. Board members' updates now. We're running through we've got a presentation, obviously, at the end of this meeting and a workshop to get through, okay? So, Richard,
Just
board member
quickly,
Humber?
I went to visit the new health centre. They had 170 dental visits in that trailer that they had up there, which has sort of saved about 100 people from trips out of Kāwhia. So, excellent initiative, to be quite honest. They've got a healthy homes initiative going on, and they are all doing well, and they're looking forward to what they're doing. And they have got a doctor coming once a week on a Wednesday, and that's in conjunction with Dr. John. I think he's looking forward to having Wednesdays off. But it all seems to be going very, very well, and they're happy with the responses they're getting. So that's a good thing. The other thing is I had a bit of a walk around our seawalls, which I'll bring up during our concept plan to see if I could get my head around what was going on there. And that's my report.
Yeah, I think, I do note your point with that new medical venture that's going on up there. That's a good initiative.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And working in with
They seem
Dr.
very helpful people. They're
Yeah.
really happy with what they're doing. And
Yeah,
I've had a lot of traffic.
yeah.
I might want to live somewhere else.
I haven't heard any rumblings of that being organised in the past. It just sort of happened, didn't it?
Excellent.
Councillor Jeffries, did you know that the new health initiative that started up?
Yes, we spoke about it at the last council meeting.
Yeah.
And Jamie mentioned about it as well. So it's a very good initiative. I agree with you, Richard.
That's excellent.
Yep.
One other thing, if I may,
Yeah.
I reported a footpath issue, and I went onto the council website, and it took me a while to find my way into the correct pathway to report the issue. But I got to tell you, it was relatively easy to do, but me being me, I made it confusing. But I got a response time back within maybe 40 minutes. I thought that was pretty damn good, to be quite honest. So a bit of a bouquet, I guess. So that was good.
Well, thank you for that. You do notice that as the ODC staff members get used to the Atino system.
Yeah.
Now it's not so foreign to them either, as foreign as it was to us. So yes, the responses are coming through.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you for that. If you could pass that on, whoever's listening. Board member Hugh.
Oh, tēnā tātou. Yeah, just been working with the roadside signs, and also in support with the storyboards where I can. And also just recently I sit on the COGS funding board, and it'll be good to have more applications from our area. There was nothing that came forth from our area for the COGS, so that's something that I'd like to push for next year. Community.
Is that the grants?
That's the grants, COGS grants, sorry. Well, it's a funding avenue. But we had the meeting for the South Waikato last week, and so that's just something that we could look forward, something in the future that maybe more of our community groups could apply for. Nō reira, tēnā tātou.
Good, thank you. Councillor Jeffries.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, it's been a pretty quiet month, really. I attended the council meeting in the 20, whatever it was. And there were some interesting items came up on that agenda. Some of them were mainly workshop items. So I think probably we can leave those for later discussion, but there were some items that were considered by the council, and in particular, there was a new policy, or a policy that's been put by Tony Quickfall, which was the compliance policy, and I would encourage board members to get on to the council web and have a look at the agenda and the minutes for that particular meeting, just to sort of get a handle on what that was all about. But it's really to formalise, if you like, the fact that we didn't actually have a policy in the first place, and then what it covers. So there was that. That was some good discussion there. There was Andrew presented the final statement for consultation on the local alcohol policy review, and I don't know whether there's anything you want to comment on there, Andrew.
No, yes, through you, Mr. Chair, just that this is something that comes up once every 6 years, so it's two council terms between changes. It's quite important in that it gives council a chance to have a say in the opening hours and the conduct of licensed premises in their communities. So
yeah.
Have a read of it anyway. No significant changes, but worthy of a read, just so you understand the compliance framework. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. One of the items that was on the agenda, which created quite a bit of discussion, was we've got two families who are very, very generously gifting quite a large parcel of land just outside of Otaronga, potentially or initially for riding for the disabled and for other equestrian events. Though there is a possibility in the future that it could be turned into a multi-sports hub. So there's quite a bit of work to go on behind the scenes before anything happens there. But the generosity of these people was acknowledged, and yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. And the only other one that I just wanted to comment on now, and we can talk about it now if it's appropriate, but if not, we can leave it till afterwards, and that is government's decision on Maori wards, and the reversing pretty much what Labor had put in, and pretty much basically putting local government in a situation where it's either got to rescind its decision to bring in Maori wards or go to a poll. And I think that was pretty much the guts of it. So we can talk about the ins and outs of that later if that's appropriate to do that. Yeah, but I think it's an important issue, and certainly people around here, residents, ratepayers in Kāwhia, Aotea, I think should be aware that there will be some consultation on that, and they'll have a chance to have some input into that going forward. So that was pretty much it for me. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to start off with just thanking you all for your patience in my absence in the last two meetings. Board member for you. I did watch you on the television and you did a great job standing in for me. So I really appreciate that. It's good to have a great deputy coming in behind me, that's for sure. So I really do appreciate that. You handle things well. Okay. And I didn't acknowledge Ethan at the start, but just acknowledge the public members that are here on a cold afternoon, wet afternoon. And there's a good turnout of ODC here today, but that's because I'll talk to that later. Okay, so I'll give you all explanation on why we've got a good turnout here as well. Just in terms of what I did with the ARS, the Aotea Ratepayers Society, had their AGM in June, and a good refresh of the board over there, and there'll be some good projects coming forward, certainly tying it in with the Kāwhia Aotea Oparau concept plans coming on. We had a meeting earlier this week with horse owners along Morrison Road. Most of you are aware of the issues that's been happening around that area. And we had a really positive outcome. We had Waikato Regional Council come over. We had ODC well represented, and we had Morgan, the new temporary police woman that's here in Kāwhia. She attended. She'd done a lot of homework leading up to the meeting, and so it was a meeting that had solutions, not problems, because we all knew what the problems were. And about half an hour later, the solution was all done and dusted. So and hopefully that solution, it'll not only apply to Aotea horse tricks, but it should sneak around to Okapu Marae as well. Okay? So there'll be a lot safer travels on the Aotea Morrison roads in future. And I could reiterate again my thanks to all members, all parties that were involved in that meeting on Tuesday. It was great. Te Tai o Kāwhia Moana have a planting Saturday week on the 10th down at Kāwhia Street. Just a general out there, 10 o'clock. If you could bring your spade, and I'm sure Hano, Monty, you'd like some help down there, eh? Great. And I know there's a sausage afterwards. So and an AGM at 1 o'clock, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. I'm off to the community board conference in Wellington in 3 weeks' time. Yeah. And you're with the LG section, aren't you? You're not community board, you're with the big boys, aren't you? The councils. But yeah. So and Kāwhia Community Board has been nominated by Oklahoma District Council for an award down there, which is pretty special. And it's a nomination for partnering with councils. And I know that the Kāwhia Community Board has really stepped up their game when it's come to partnering with our councils, with our council, you know, and it's represented now by the support we get here. So Kaya's not here, but I hope you're listening, Kaya. Thank you for putting that forward in a nomination, and thank you, board members, for supporting that. I'll send you a text, okay? This is an idea that I'd like to throw out there. It's through Kit Jeffries, and it's for community champions. Okay, so if there's people out there that we feel, and I noticed in the paper tonight with the King Country News, they coincidentally had started up a community champions page. So we could use that avenue to get something out there. Must be plenty of people in Kāwhia that are unsung. Okay, so if you can think of people, I know there's a couple of board members here.
Straight away.
Yeah, but now that there's an avenue in there through King Country News, have a look at today's King Country News. Okay. That's all from me. Rebecca is the ODC staff member who looks after the community hall here. Rebecca has come here today to listen to the concerns. She'll take them on board, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some interaction between everyone to get it resolved. Okay. So thank you for that. Getting back to why we've got such a good crowd here tonight. Sitting next to me is Mr. Lowe, Andrew Lowe, and he's sat next to me this is the first year he sat next to me. Normally I'm over here somewhere, aren't I? But there's an official function for the ODC staff and community board members after our workshop, where there'll be a more formal presentation. But I just do want to take this opportunity in public to thank you, Andrew, for your guiding hands that's been here at all times, not only from, I first met you, 70 years ago. How long did you start on council? 17 years. And that's when I had an issue over there at Aotea. And this bloke, he's probably forgotten how he sold it. It's probably best that he did forget how he sold it. but it got sold fairly rapidly, and I've always respected you for that, Andrew. I've always respected you for your quiet whispers in my ear. Even today, I'm still getting them. Okay, so I know my replacement's sitting over there. Your replacement's sitting over there, so we'll see how his whispering goes. But just publicly to acknowledge you, Andrew, and thank you so much for your dedication and time that you spent here at Kāwhia, and you've looked after the Moana well. So I really appreciate it. Now you can have an opportunity to put something on record if you want.
All right, just thanks for your kind words, Jeff. Yeah.
You're a good bloke, Andrew. Okay. Thank you very much, board members. I know we've always appreciated Andrew's advice and help. Right, moving on through the agenda and the discretionary fund. Remember, members, there's a new round starting for that. So it's our discretionary fund. Get some ideas in. We had a good spread of grants, and last year it was really good what we supported in the community. We can't do a lot because it's not a big fund, but sometimes you don't need to do a lot to make things happen, eh? You know, sometimes it only needs a few $100s here and there, but it's good to know.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Well, here's the last whisper.
Bit of a segue into this, so you might have forgotten, but at the last meeting, the board members asked what was the parameters or the rules around the reserve fund. So at that stage, there were no rules. We did a bit of research after the meeting. Anyway, with the help of the chief executive, we've drafted up a set of kind of guidelines for that fund. I suppose they consider them in draft format because there's another stream of work going on, and Graham Bunn, the business admin manager, is formulating a grants and funding policy overarching the way council dispenses public money. So anyway, I've got copies of this, so I'll just hand them out to you. They're really just general funding principles for this money, some of the stuff drawn from other documents and house, your delegations, and some guidelines from the Office of the Auditor General. So I'll leave that with you. So,
Great, thank you.
yeah, very good.
Thank you for that. Moving on to the resolutions register. This one has been floating around for a while, hasn't it? Resolution, an asset management plan for wharf structure will be developed. This plan will provide guidance for ongoing maintenance costs, possible replacement of the wharf. Further discussions about ongoing charges and funding will flow on once future costs are understood. Was there any progress on that?
I think that's one of the
With
work streams in the
concept plan, so I saw it, yeah. Okay. All right. That's our meeting. Hang on, board member Few. Do you want Cassidy to do the call?
Yeah, Cassidy.
Right, before I close the meeting, officially, can I just call on Cassidy to say our closing character?
Kia ora no tātou. Mihi ana kia koutou kua tae mai, o tira kia koutou te whaare. Ka tika me mihi, kia koe hoki, Andrew, me ngā mahi, i ngā tau papahuri ake, ko te manako o te ngā kau o tātou, kia pai ai te huarahi mō o tira tō whānau. Just want to reiterate the words and acknowledge Andrew as well in this week today. So kia inoi tātou. E papa e rangi. Whakarongo aki nei e ki te tangi o te ngākau. Kia mara mai i runga, kia mara mai i raro, kia mara mai i roto, kia mara mai waho, kia mara mai i tua. Pohau te rongo, tūturo for te whakamaua kia tīna, haunye, huye, tai ki e. And just a brief translation as well, but reaffirming those good aspects of light above, below, within this space and further afield, and for good provisions moving forward. Kia ora.
Before I close the meeting, I'd just like to again thank the members of the public that have all turned up here. Public input's important. Oh, thank you. It's a public forum. Sorry. But as a last duty for today, and I've sort of given Andrew the heads up, I'm actually delegating the authority to close this meeting to Andrew Lowe.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. So, yeah, I'd like to reiterate Jeff's appreciation of the public turnout today. Thank you, board members, Mr. Chair, Cassidy, support staff. I declare the meeting closed at 4:38.
And is closed accordingly. Thank you, people. We don't. Board members, we have a workshop now, and public, you are welcome to stay for a workshop. It's on the Kāwhia Aotea Operau